Avoiding sentiment when writing prose. Alright, I'm going to draw a rabbit, and here it is. Now this poor creature hasn't got long to live. You may own a rabbit, or maybe you did when you were younger. But if you were asked to write about the day it died, how would you approach this without making the writing twee or sentimental? When Raymond Carver's early stories were edited by Gordon Lish, Lish took out the sentimental passages. Carver was upset at the time, but this was one of the pieces of editing that made what we now know as the Carver style. Pared back, lacking introspection, unsentimental, leaving a good deal for the reader to interpret. When you are editing your writing, emphasizing the sentiment, pushing the reader towards an emotional state, can have the reverse effect the writer intends. It is almost always better to leave the emotional aspects of the story you are telling to the reader. Now this is hard to measure sometimes, but leaving a piece of writing for a while will help you to be objective about this. Okay, so back to that rabbit. If you look at this text, this is about the moment the rabbit died. Have a look at this and see what you think. Freeze the video till you've had the chance to read this through, and then see how you might edit it yourself to cut out the overly sentimental passages. Once you've done this, then start the video up again and let's see if we agree. So, what are the problems with this passage? Let's have a look. Poor. Yeah, that's really pushing us towards too much emotion, I think. We've been through so many adventures. That's kind of a bit Ian Nettleton. Blurred as my eyes filled up. Well, I think that's telling us that the character's upset. Twinkling. Eyes twinkling but confused. Too much anthropomorphism there, I think. When he finally breathed out his last, is a bit purple. Overwrought. Definitely. What else needs to go? Well, I think I would take out as if I might be able to explain, because again that's probably telling us too much. And carefully, the adverb, well, it's telling us too much about how the character feels. Okay, here's my alternative. Some of my students have told me they think this is too coldly handled. That was one of the problems Carver had with Lish's edits. Anyway, here it is. My rabbit was lying on the grass, breathing with difficulty. I crouched down and watched him, and he watched me. I waited until he stopped breathing. After that I waited a while longer. Then I made a hole in the corner of the garden and buried him. So which do you prefer? One expresses the feelings of the writer, and overtly, I think. The other lets the reader work out how the boy in this particular story feels. He's a boy and maybe he isn't bothered. Or maybe he's holding all that emotion in. If someone was to talk to him at this point, he might be brusque or rude, but the true emotion would be in the subtext. It would be in what he is not saying or in what he's not expressing. Now this isn't startling writing, I know, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how to avoid being twee or sentimental. There's a very good statement by Stendhal, and it goes something like this. Think of what you want to say, then do your best not to say it.